Today, I messed up by accidentally sending a spreadsheet that contained sarcastic notes, jokes, and a fake organizational chart where I labeled my new boss as the vice president of confusion to the entire executive team. It was supposed to be deleted before sending, but it wasn't. Now, I am stuck between getting fired or weirdly, possibly promoted. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we have news story from Reddit, and without further ado, let's get into it. So this happened about 3 weeks ago, but the consequences are still unfolding in the most chaotic, apocalyptic way imaginable. Buckle up, because this one has everything: spreadsheets, sarcasm, HR nightmares, and the dark side of reply all. For context, I, 31M, work at a mid-sized software company, one of those places that's not quite a startup anymore but still has people wearing Allbirds and pretending kombucha on tap isn't innovation. I work in the data analytics team. My official title is Senior Insights Analyst, which basically means I'm the Excel wizard people call when they want a fancy dashboard to impress investors. Anyway, we recently had a change in upper management. Our new VP of Marketing, let's call her Cassandra, was hired to shake things up, which apparently is code for fire people and make buzzwords mandatory in every meeting. I'll admit it, I didn't like her, but I tried to keep it professional, mostly because she had the kind of executive power that could squash my entire department with a single slide deck. Now here's where the TIFU begins. We were asked to prepare a Q1 performance review, basically compiling a bunch of KPIs, marketing campaign performance stats, and customer churn data. Nothing new. I worked on my section diligently and, as always, added a notes tab in the Excel doc, just a private little spot where I vented frustrations, left reminders, and made dumb jokes about pie charts. Important detail, this tab was labeled "Do Not Include" in all caps. It was supposed to be removed before sending the final deck to Cassandra. It wasn't. Why? Because of Chad. Chad is the junior analyst I've been mentoring. He's a sweet kid, smart with SQL, but about as detail-oriented as a Labrador in a squirrel sanctuary. He offered to compile the sections from everyone into one master doc. I sent him my Excel file with a quick Slack message: just delete the "Do Not Include" tab before you paste my section. He replied with a thumbs up emoji. What I didn't know, what no one realized until it was far too late, was that Chad had interpreted my spreadsheet as a finalized version and simply forwarded the whole thing, tabs and all, directly to Cassandra. With the notes tab that contained the following: a running tally of how many times Cassandra had said synergy in meetings, 17. A sarcastic renaming of her brand realignment strategy to the Great Gaslighting. A meme of a dumpster fire gif with the caption, Q1 goals. A pivot table with campaign data titled, which of these dumpster fires smells least like failure? And my personal favorite, a fake org chart where Cassandra was listed as VP of Confusion, reporting to Queen Chaos, a stick figure with a crown. Now some of you might say, well, she probably didn't even look at the notes tab. Oh, reader, she did. Not only did she see it, she was so enraged that she forwarded the spreadsheet with the notes tab to the entire exec team with a one-line comment: "Is this what passes for professionalism in data now?" But wait, it gets worse. TIFU by sending an email that wasn't meant for human eyes, part February 3rd. When I say the email blew up, I don't mean in the way a viral tweet does. I mean it exploded like a slow-motion demolition of my professional credibility, with chunks of dignity raining down like confetti over a company-wide funeral. Cassandra had replied all to the spreadsheet, to the entire executive team, marketing leadership, my manager, my manager's manager, and because God wanted this to be biblical in scope, the full analytics distribution list. That's 147 people. I counted. Her message was short. Too short. That's how you knew she was furious. Unacceptable. Please explain. That's it. No, hi team. No, thanks for your input. No, best, Cassandra. Just the death sentence. I was sitting at my desk when the notification hit. I opened the thread, saw my meme-filled spreadsheet, and felt my soul exit my body like a rat fleeing a sinking cruise ship. Then came the Slack messages. First from coworkers. Dude, the notes tab. Bureau El Maffeo, are you okay? I can't believe you called her VP of Confusion. Then from my manager. Can you come to a quick meeting? Like now. I sprinted, literally ran, to the conference room where my boss, Marcy, was already pacing. Marcy's the kind of person who's always calm, always composed, and when she's not, it's because the building is either on fire or being investigated by the FBI. She didn't even say hello, just turned her laptop around and pointed at the screen. Please tell me this isn't real, she said. I stared at it for a moment, then with all the grace of a man halfway down a waterfall, I just said, it was supposed to be deleted. I swear. Was it a mistake? Yes. Was any of this directed specifically at Cassandra personally? I hesitated. She saw that. Oh my God. No. I mean, look, I make those joke tabs all the time. They're like therapy. It wasn't meant to be seen by anyone. She sighed. Well, she saw it, and now so has the CTO, the CFO, and probably the damn janitor. I apologized profusely. I told her about Chad, about the thumbs up emoji, about how I never expected the whole thing to leave our internal shared folder. She rubbed her temples. You might have just memed yourself out of a job. The HR fallout. An hour later, I got a meeting invite from HR. You know the one. Subject line, clarification on workplace communications. No agenda, scheduled for the same day. I showed up early, sweating through my button-up shirt. A woman named Darlene from HR greeted me with the blank-eyed expression of someone who has seen too much and felt none of it. Let's talk about your spreadsheet, she said. So I explained. Again, same story, but this time with more carefully chosen words and fewer colorful metaphors. Darlene nodded through the whole thing, clicking her pen like she was tallying how many ways I could be legally fired. We're going to need a formal written apology, she said, both to Cassandra and to anyone who was copied on the email. You'll also be attending our digital professionalism workshop. I nodded, and I want to be very clear, if anything like this happens again, it will result in immediate termination. Fair enough. So that night, I wrote the most humble, cringe-inducing apology of my life. I even ran it through Grammarly 3 times to make sure I didn't accidentally throw in another sarcastic jab. I signed it with actual sincerity and hit send. The next morning, I had 48 responses. Most of them were standard. Thanks for the clarification. Appreciate your accountability. Let's move forward professionally. But a few were less conventional. From the CTO, your pivot tables are excellent. Next time, leave the memes out. Or don't, just keep them off my inbox. From someone in legal, funniest spreadsheet I've ever read. Please don't email it again. And from Cassandra herself, apology noted. I expect higher standards going forward. Just that. No best, no smiley face. Not even a period. It was the cold, corporate equivalent of a door slamming shut. But here's the wild part. I wasn't fired. Which brings us to the office repercussions. I thought I'd be a pariah. That people would whisper in the halls or avert their eyes when I walked by. But instead, something weird happened. People started thanking me. Like, genuinely thanking me. Turns out I wasn't the only one who had strong feelings about Cassandra's brand realignment. A quiet rebellion had been brewing, and my notes tab, that was the spark. By the end of the week, someone printed out the VP of Confusion org chart and stuck it on the break room fridge. Anonymous, of course, but I had a feeling it wasn't Chad. He still avoided eye contact like I was radioactive. Another coworker messaged me. You said what we're all thinking. Respect. I wasn't a villain. I was a meme. Someone even changed their Slack status to Queen Chaos for a full day before getting told to take it down. Still, I kept my head down, attended the workshop, updated my resume just in case. For a while, things seemed to settle, until the Q2 kickoff meeting. Cassandra had a surprise announcement, a new initiative, a campaign, she called it. It was titled, From Chaos to Clarity, a Roadmap. She said it without irony, and I just knew she was coming for me. The Q2 kickoff began with Cassandra standing in front of a massive slide that simply read, From Chaos to Clarity. She clicked to the next slide, Reinventing Data Culture. My stomach did a quiet backflip. She started outlining a new collaborative performance transparency initiative. Translation: every department would now be subjected to bi-weekly review audits, randomly selected reports, full walkthroughs, manager evaluations, peer evaluations, and feedback assessments submitted directly to Cassandra herself. People started shifting in their chairs. One guy from sales actually laughed, then immediately coughed to cover it. Cassandra either didn't notice or chose not to notice. She smiled, the kind of smile you see on a python before it unhinges its jaw. She moved to the final slide. First department, analytics. I nearly bit through my tongue. When the meeting ended, Marcy pulled me into a side huddle. This is retaliation, she whispered. I know, I said, but is it like subtle enough that I can't even say it's retaliation? Yes, that's the problem. Cassandra's audit started the next day. She emailed a detailed bullet-pointed agenda with 18 line items. She wanted every report from Q1, metadata on who accessed what and when, revision history, and even timestamps of active collaboration metrics, whatever the hell that meant. She CC'd the CTO, our chief people officer, and her new assistant, a recent MBA grad who dressed like a Bond villain and spoke exclusively in jargon. The vibe on our floor changed fast. Chad looked like he was one Slack ping away from a stress-induced nosebleed. I walked by one of the newer analysts openly crying in a phone booth. Someone created a new Slack emoji, a spreadsheet with flames behind it. By Thursday, Cassandra scheduled one-on-ones with each member of our team. Mine was at 4 p.m. Friday. Classic intimidation move. I walked in expecting to get chewed out, written up, maybe even fired. Instead, she smiled again, that damn smile, and gestured for me to sit. I want to give you a chance to clarify some things, she said. Your metrics are interesting. I blinked. Interesting? You use humor as a tool. Satire. Irony. But that can often mask dysfunction. I had no idea what to say to that, so I just nodded like a man caught shoplifting a granola bar. She clicked open my Q1 report on her laptop and pointed to a tab. It wasn't mine. It was Chad's, and it was not good. Broken formulas, inconsistent naming conventions, filters left on random columns. Worse, a few charts had been pasted in his screenshots. No source data. My jaw tightened. I know he compiled the deck, she said, and I know you mentored him. I knew where this was going. So, she continued, was your spreadsheet an attempt to call out incompetence in your own team? I blinked. No. It was never meant to be seen. I don't think Chad is incompetent. He's new. He made a mistake. She stared at me. You're protecting him. I didn't respond. She leaned back. I'm recommending a restructuring of your team. Some roles will be reassigned. Others may be reduced. I stood up. With respect, that sounds like scapegoating. She smiled again. Then you can take it up with HR. And the twist. I didn't go to HR. I went to someone better. Our CTO, Adrian, is a chill guy. Ex-dev wears hoodies to board meetings, secretly codes at night for fun. I knew he had a sense of humor because last year he added a rickroll to the footer of our annual report. Hidden, but it was there. I requested a private meeting. Told him everything. Showed him my original email thread with Chad. Explained the tab, the jokes, the lack of malicious intent. I even brought a flash drive with every Q1 deliverable, properly formatted, no memes. The good boy version. He listened. Then he asked to see the meme tab. I hesitated. Don't worry, he said. Off the record. I showed him. He laughed so hard he had to wipe his glasses. Look, he said, you screwed up. Big. But you also built the best campaign performance tracking model this company's ever seen. Cassandra? She's trying to prove something to the board. You just became a threat. What does that mean for me? It means document everything. Stay sharp and give it 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, Cassandra was reassigned. Officially, she was transitioning to a strategic consulting role. Unofficially, she was out. Rumor was Adrian saw the same from chaos to clarity slides and asked why the person leading an internal witch hunt had failed to deliver even one net positive campaign since joining. Oof, chat stayed. Marcy got promoted. And me? I got offered Cassandra's role. I turned it down. Instead, I asked to build a cross-functional analytics incubator, basically a safe haven for innovation without politics. Adrian loved it. We called it Project Dumpster Fire. Unironically, update, what happened after I accidentally emailed a joke spreadsheet to the entire executive team? It has now been about 6 weeks since the spreadsheet incident. A lot has happened and I finally have closure and, surprisingly, a new opportunity. After the fallout from the accidental email, which included sarcastic notes, internal memes, and a fake org chart that referred to my boss as the vice president of confusion, I was sure I would be fired. Instead, I was put through an HR review, issued a formal warning, and had to complete a digital professionalism course. I took full accountability, but something unexpected happened. My coworkers quietly rallied behind me. People started sharing how they'd felt stifled by new leadership and how humor, while misplaced in this case, was a rare sign of honesty in a very corporate environment. Meanwhile, the executive team began to notice that Cassandra's management style was not translating into results. While she focused on audits and micromanagement, her campaigns underperformed. And when she started targeting my department for restructuring, it raised red flags with our chief technology officer. I met with him privately, presented my full report with all metrics cleanly formatted, no memes this time, and explained what had happened with full transparency. He appreciated it and apparently kept an eye on things. 2 weeks later, Cassandra was quietly reassigned to a different role. I was never told the details, but she was removed from all meetings and communications involving analytics. My manager got promoted, and I was offered a chance to lead a new internal project focused on innovation and cross-team collaboration. I accepted on the condition that we name it something honest. So now I run a small data innovation team called Project Dumpster Fire. It started as a joke. Now it's my job. Thanks for following along. Thank you guys so much for watching and making to the end of the video. Don't forget to leave a like and comment down below what part was your favorite and what would you guys like to watch in future videos, and subscribe with notifications on. And again, thank you guys so much for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.